Hello dear students, in this video we're going to talk about our first chapter for this academic year. So in this chapter we're going to talk about the animal's diet. Let's have an overview about our new chapter about the animal's diet. In this chapter you will identify the animal's diet. We have three types. We have something called herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore. And also we will distinguish the difference between the herbivore, carnivore, and the omnivore. Also, we will determine how do animals identify and choose their food. In addition, we will study the terms and the difference between these two terms, what the meaning of a prey and what the meaning of a predator. So let's start with chapter 1, activity 1, the animals. All of you like food. Some of you they like pasta. Others they like crab, for example. Some of you they like donuts. Others they like pizza, salad. All of you like food. This is the truth. This is a fact. All of you like food. But if this lady wants to lose weight, what should she eat? Should eat this food, this type of food, or she had to eat this junk food? Sure, if she wants to use this dress or to wear this dress, she should wear this dress by eating the healthy food and not the junk food. So, healthy food will help her to be fit, to be healthy, and to lose weight in order to use this dress. So, first of all, you have to know that we have to eat healthy food and junk food. You have to use it in a few amount once a week, once a month. It's okay, but we have to eat healthy food, including fruits, vegetables, meat, chicken, fish, and others. So you have to avoid as much as you can eating junk food. So here, in order to get muscle, this man has to eat healthy food, including high amount of protein, including the eggs, fish, meat, chicken, and others. And this man should avoid as much as he can eating this junk food, potato chips, popcorn, cola, chocolate, and others. Okay, so let's start. What the meaning of a diet? And what is the diet? To start with, diet, whenever you hear the word diet, you know that you have to eat less amount of food or you have to decrease the amount of food. And this is false. Food diet is the food that you consume, meaning that you eat during your life. So consume meaning that eat. So food diet is the food that an organism consumes during a certain period of time. And this is the definition for the food diet. So from now on, food diet doesn't mean eating less amount of food. Food diet mean eating the food that you consume is related to the food diet. So food diet is the food that we eat. Food diet should be a healthy one or not. This depends on your decision. So what is a food diet? I repeat, food diet is the food that an organism or that a human being or that an animal consumes during a certain period of time. What do you like to eat? Some of you they like to eat chicken. Others they like to eat pizza. Others they like to eat sushi. Others they like to eat, for example, popcorn. potato chips, chocolate, and others. So there is a differences in the food we consume. Let's start with the different types of the food diet. What are the different food diets and what does each type depend? First of all, we have this cow. This cow, what do you think? She prefer to eat a food that from plants or food from animals like this chicken? Sure, she prefer to eat food from plants. So she loves to eat food of plant origin. And the cow prefers to eat grass. Okay, so she like the food of plant origin. The grass is a food of plant. It comes from the plants. While this dog, this dog will consume grass or will consume meat. So for sure, the dog like meat. So the food is from plant origin or from animal origin. Meat, sure from animal. So it's a food of animal origin. So till now we have two types. The cow, for example, consumes food from plant origin, while the dog consumes food from animal origin. Let's move now for human. Human, you have to eat all types of food and different types of food. Whenever your mom cooks food, you have to eat the different types. You have to eat fruits and vegetables. You have to eat salad, for example. You have to eat meat. You have to eat chicken. So you consume food of plant origin. These two types of food, they are of plant origin. And you eat food of animal origin. So you eat food of both origins, animal and a plant. So this is the food of both animal origin and plant origin. So what do we call the animal that consumes food of plant origin? What do we call the animal that consumes food of animal origin? And what do we call that consumes food of both plant and animal origin? So here the first note for this activity. Some animals they eat, as we said, food of only plant origin. Food of plant origin only. While others they consume food of animal origin only. While some type of animals they consume food of both plant origin and an animal origin. So what do we call each type of this? Let's discover together. So the first type that consumes food of plant origin only, we call it herbivore. Example about this, the cow. The cow consumes food of only plant origin. It's called herbivore. Herbs mean that plants. So herbivore for animals that consumes food of plant origin. So the example here is the cow. And the animal that consumes food of animal origin only, it's called carnivore. Carnivore, example about this is the dog that eats meat. So it consumes food of animal origin only. So we call it carnivore. While human, they consume food of both plant and animal origin. So we call it omnivore. So herbivore, it's only plants. Carnivore, only animals, while omnivore, both animal and plant origin. So you have to be careful for this. This is an important note. The animal that eats food of plant origin only is called herbivore. The animal that eats food of animal origin only is called carnivore, while that consumes food of animal and plant origin is called omnivore. So I repeat it. Food of plant origin is called herbivore. Food of animal origin is called carnivore. Food of both plant and animal origin is called an omnivore. So here we have the lion, the rabbit, and human. The lion consumes food of plant or animal origin. Sure, it's of animal origin. So it is carnivore. Classification according to the food diet, we have three classifications: herbivore, carnivore, omnivore. So sure, animal origin, so it's a carnivore. While those that consumes food of plant origin, like the case of rabbit, so plant origin only, so it's called herbivore. While those that consume food of both plant and animal, so it's called omnivore. Changes of the food diet of a fox. Fox sometimes eats food of animal origin, like the case of this chicken, and sometimes consumes food of plant origin, like the strawberry. So he eats food of both plant and animal origin. Food of animal origin and food of plant origin. So we call it an omnivore. Here, the changes the food diet during spring, during winter, during summer, and during autumn. Here we have this information that's found here. This in biology, this year we are going to call it a legend. So this is the legend for the figure, or it's called the key. The legend for the figure is found here. This legend, it says the violet for the mammals, the brown for the birds, the yellow for the insects, and the blue for fruits and vegetables. As you see here, during spring, 80% of the food that's consumed by the fox represent mammals, while during summer, 50% fruits and grains, while 13% insects. So they eat 50% of their food, it's fruits and grains, 13% insects, 7% birds, and 30% mammals. During autumn, 37% of their food mammals, 5% birds, 8% insects, and you have, for example, so you have the 8% insects and 50% fruits and grains. While during winter, most of their food, it's 80% mammals and the rest is 20% fruits and grains. So what do you, according to which factor that the food diet of the fox change? It changes according to what? According to the season. And to be more specific, it changes according to the availability of the food. For example, during spring, the mostly available one during spring is mammals, so they eat mostly mammals. For example, during spring and autumn, they consume 50% grains and fruits, while during 30% they represent about mammals. So according to the season and according to the availability of food, meaning that which type of food is available. Moving now to activity 2, identifying and choosing food. How do they identify the food? How do they choose the food? For example, here, the baby. Baby, how would this baby find the bowl? Using what? Using the eyes. So the eyes is called here the sense organ. So we use the eyes here to identify bowl. Before we begin, we have to know what the meaning of prey and what the meaning of predator. is the animal that hunt another animal and feed on it. For example, we have a lion and we have a deer. The lion will hunt the deer and will feed on it, will eat it. So we call the lion here is the predator, while the prey is the animal killed and eaten by the predator. Lion and a deer. The animal killed and eaten, it's the deer. So it's called the prey. So let's repeat it. The predator is the one who eat, who hunt. So deer and lion, the lion is the predator, is the one who hunt and eat, while the prey is the one that's killed and eaten by the predator. So the deer is killed and eaten by the predator, which is the lion. So this is the difference between the predator and the prey. Let's focus here. The eyes of the falcon permits or it allows the detection. The eyes of the falcon permit or allow the detection of the prey at great distances. When the prey is spotted, when the prey is detected, the falcon start a fast fly and then capture it. Also, a bat emits ultrasounds which are reflected by the prey. Then the echo is received by the ears of the bat, which have large and recognizes its food by a special organ which is called the antenna. Antenna sense organs of touch and smelling. They use it for touching and for the dog's sense of smell allows it to trace the prey. So he uses the smelling to trace the prey, to move after the prey, and to hunt it and eat it. So in this table, we have to fill it using the sense and the sense organ. Here you have to differentiate between the sense and the sense organ. We have 5 senses. We have, for example, vision, using the eyes. We have hearing using the ears. We have touching and smelling, and we have the different sense organs. For example, the falcon use which sense organ to detect the prey? It sees the prey using the sense organ which is the eye. So a sense organ is called the eye, while the sense for the eye is called vision. So here we have the eyes, they are the sense organs, while the sense we call it vision. So eyes, they are the sense organ, while the sense it's called vision. Bat emits ultrasounds, as we said before. So the bat emits ultrasounds which are reflected, and the echo is received by the ears and will detect it. So the sense organs, they are the ears, while the sense is called hearing. So always the organs, they are called the sense organs. While the sense, for example, the eyes, they are the sense organ. What do we call the sense? It's called vision. While the ears, they are called the sense organ. So what do we call the sense? It's hearing. The ant uses the antenna for smelling and touching. Sure, we don't have antenna. So touching and smelling, it represent the sense. So both of them, they are related to the antenna. Also, we have the nose. Nose that's used by the duck to detect the prey. So the nose is the sense organ, while the sense is called smelling. Let's move to some experiments here. We have 2 experiments about grasshopper. Grasshopper is placed in an experiment with 2 empty sacks. They are presented for the grasshopper. One of them is green in color, and other it's yellow in color. So first of all, let's study new terms. Let's identify new terms in biology this year. Instead of saying the difference, from now on we're going to replace it in biology with another word. This word is called variable. Okay, so variable is another word related to the difference. So in biology, mostly we're going to use the word variable. Sometimes we're going to use difference, but mostly we're going to use the word variable. So from now on, if you saw the word variable, variable means the difference. So here, difference between these two in this experiment, the difference or the variable factor is called the variable factor or the variable. So the variable factor or the variable here is the color. The first sac is green in color and the second one is yellow in. Here, as you see in the experiment, the grasshoppers, they move toward the green sac. So here, the grasshopper, they are attracted to the sac that has green color and not the yellow one. Second experiment, two sacs, they have the same color and they are made of tissue permeable to odors. It allows the odor to go through this. And they are presented to the grasshopper. One contains herbs, meaning that it contains plants, and the other contains sand. So the grasshopper, they are attracted to what? They are attracted to the sac containing the herbs and not the one containing the sand due to the smelling of the sac containing the herbs. So this represents the anatomy of the grasshopper. Here we have the antenna. Here's the head region in this region. Here we have the thorax. Here is the abdomen. So here the antenna. Okay. Here we have the eyes, the compound eye. Okay. And they are used by the grasshopper. So the grasshopper, we have three important sense organs. The antenna, number one, is for smelling and touching. Number two, we have the eyes. They are used for vision. And number three, we have something called the palps. Palps, they are used for tasting. So here we studied the different sense organs and their sense in the grasshopper. So in this video, we identified the animal's diet: herbivore that feed on food of plant origin, carnivore feed on food of animal origin, omnivore both animal and plant. We determine how do animals identify and choose their food using their sense and sense organs, and also we studied the different terms predator and prey. Thank you. Bye bye.